Excellent day to you all from everywhere you're listening to me from. There is Ambassador Dr. Adekunle Badmos, the global president of the Global Clusters Worldwide. It's Mind Surgery Revolution. We say instead of end SARS, instead of end bad governance, let's engage in critical thinking, creative thinking, innovative thinking, thinking out of the box, developing great memory, flexibility, speed, focus. And let's call some great people in our community. Let them be the mind surgeon of the day. I'm super excited for the mind surgeon of the day. But before then, let's have our video and we get an intro from the 001 Mind Surgery Revolution of the Global Cluster, Dr. Michelle Uko. And we bring in our guest. And you're going to learn. Everyone, sit beside your plasma TV, your YouTube channel, your Facebook, your Instagram, and let's dive into it. Over to you, the host. Let's have the video. Then we'll have the OO1 speak to us.
Imagine a world where your mind is your greatest ally. Welcome to the Mind Surgery Revolution by the Global Clusters. This movement is all about transforming your inner world, building mental resilience, cultivating mindfulness, and overcoming the barriers within. At Global Clusters, we believe in the power of introspection and self-awareness to heal, elevate, and empower. Through emotional intelligence and cognitive growth, we can unlock our full potential and face life's challenges with clarity and strength. Think about it. Leaders today are overwhelmed by expanding expectations and digital distractions. But by prioritizing core values and focusing on what truly drives us, we can navigate this complex world with ease. The history of neurosurgery, with pioneers like Harvey Cushing, shows us the incredible advancements in understanding our brains. Similarly, the Mind Surgery Revolution invites you to revolutionize your mindset, just as brain surgery has revolutionized treatment. Even cutting-edge brain-computer interfaces are showing us the limitless potential of the brain's plasticity. But it's not just about technology. Holistic health approaches, like those from Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, emphasize the crucial connection between mind and body. Transform your mind, and you'll transform your world. Be part of the Mind Surgery Revolution by joining us at theglobalclusters.org. Stay tuned for updates, events, and tools to elevate your mental resilience and well-being. Every meeting matters. Don't miss your chance to grow with us.
Every meeting matters. Don't miss your chance to grow with us. I have the great honor to bring for the intro to today's program. I have the honor to bring forth the 001 Mind Surgery Revolution of the Global Cluster in the person of Dr. Michelle Uko. Over to you, ma. Excellent morning to you for your intro before our guest speaker comes up.
Yes. Again, good morning to everyone. Welcome to Mind Surgery. We're still in our anniversary month, which is the month of July. We launched on July 6, 2024. And every day, me as a mind surgery specialist, I'm learning new ways of resetting, restarting, renewing, and also the type of surgery that I need to do on myself. For all of you who are listening, you know that you've learned a great deal from the guests that we've had over the past 12 months, including this month as well. I just wanted to share briefly something that I almost forgot to do on a daily. And I got this information from a mind surgery specialist. The name of the person is Bob Proctor. He lived to be a multimillionaire. He is an individual who started with nothing. And he simply said, if you really are on your way to become a mind surgery specialist, to become, if you would like to be, a millionaire in dollars, naira, euro, whatever money, or let's just say reset and restart your life to the point where you're able to take care of yourself and able to take care of your family and others. He said on the daily, write down 10 things that you are grateful for. Write down the names of 3 people that might have been a distraction, or you realized they were trying to do character assassination or destroy your own destiny. Write the names down. He said, pray on those people. And on the daily, write down one goal that you want to do in 24 hours, and always include God and all of your endeavors, whether you are Muslim, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist. This is a system, a proven research system that has worked. Again, his name is Bob Proctor. Now, for all of you, sit back. Again, we have another guest that will talk from real experiences and help us again to become better mind surgeons on ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the 001 Mind Surgery Revolution of the Global Cluster in the person of Dr. Michelle Uko for all you do to contribute positively to humanity. Having said that, we want to have our guest speaker. When I heard from him, on our anniversary day, I met him. I can see that he's full of wisdom, years of experience, and he's a baby boomer too. He's someone that I tap a lot from him. The interview he granted on our anniversary day, I learned a lot. I kept watching, rewatching, you know, all of the, every single sentence from him was practical wisdom. And I will not waste your time. We're going to hear from his story, the childhood, how he was able to scale up his profession. And he's no other person than Mr. James. I didn't want to, the song name is Mr. James Chinedu uh, Ezehilo. Let's let's have you, sir. You're welcome to the mind surgery. It's the surgeon of the day.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
God.
you. I
Let's
hope
bring
you're
him to the spotlight.
terrific. I hope you're able to hear me clearly. My network is having a
Yeah.
wonderful,
We can hear you, sir.
We
fantastic.
can hear you, sir. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Um,
Oh,
I'm honored to be here. Um, I am grateful that I have an opportunity to share my story. Sometimes when it's
um,
I'm sorry.
go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. Um, I I wanted to thank you for the opportunity
Just
to be
that
so this morning.
the light behind you, the light
Ah,
behind you is not allowing us to see your face clearly.
oh,
So I
okay.
don't know if you can face the light or something.
Let's hold on because they took my spotlight away and took it to another room. Let me see if I can.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I'm
Okay. All right.
awkwardly today. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can change that. Hold on.
All right. So while we wait for our guest speakers of today, we want you to know that just like our body are, we need food, we need good cream, we need to take care of our body. That is how we need to take care of our mind. What are the ingredients that your mind needs? Your mind needs to hear stories like the one we're about to hear today. You understand? To be able to function well. I believe the story of our guest speaker today will be a job start for a lot of people. Even some people that are not here live right now. Even some babies grow up, they will still connect with this story. Yes. So it's back. Over
I'm
to
back.
you, sir.
I hope this
Yes,
is
go
better.
ahead, sir.
Oh, good, good. Um, it's interesting. I'm used to a question and answer format, so I don't want to just babble on. If you can let me know, where would you like me to start? What would you like to hear about? I've been in the space for over 3 decades. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to hear about 3 decades of work, but I can tell you a little bit about my background, and then we can go forward from there if that format works for you. Terrific. I'll take that as a yes. So I'm I'm an attorney by training. Um, I I was graduated from law school in the U.S. In 1995. So that tells you how long it's been since I've been out of graduate school. I was born in Nigeria. I was born in Enugu, and my family moved to the U.S. We finally got there about 1972. My father worked for IBM, so we just moved around to different places. So I was predominantly educated in the United States. I had an opportunity to return back to Nigeria with my father before he passed to kind of see what the new Nigeria looks like. Um, but that was over 15 years ago. And so the Nigeria that I remember then is much different from the Nigeria that I see today. But fast forward a little bit, after practicing law for about 15 years in the US, I had an opportunity to change careers. I almost had to change careers. It's not that I lost faith in the law, I just didn't see the impact that it was having on the lives of the people that I was interacting with on a daily basis. It was more about commerce than it was about justice. Um, so I realized that this wasn't the path for me. Again, my wife had started an NGO working with the environment and young people. And she asked me if I wanted to come on board to help run the NGO. And I saw this as an opportunity to work in a space that was more fulfilling and kind of leave the law alone, but still have those practical skills from practicing law for all those years. So I went and started working with the foundation. Um, and as of now, I've been working there for 20 years. And we've been working on projects in the United States. We work on projects here in Nigeria. And it's all, most of the work that we do is around human resources, environmental sustainability, and with a strong headway into renewable energy. We see that as the next step for what needs to be done here in Nigeria for our organization. So it's been an incredible journey for me. Um, and I'm excited that I'm in Nigeria at this time. There's so much happening that it's hard to keep up with the pace of change and the pace of development in Nigeria. So that is kind of my background in a nutshell. Doctor, do you have any questions that you want to pose to me directly, or any direction you want me to move forward in?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Doctor.
Okay, great. Would you please go into the struggles of adjustments between sometimes the cultures, Nigeria and America? Also, on the platform, we want to know how you are able to overcome those obstacles. What keeps you positive? How do you do mind surgery on yourself? How do you change
Mm,
your own mindset? What are your principles? What are your values? What drives you to become a better you? Because, by the way, as another baby boomer to another one, you look great, sir. So, they can't even imagine what we've gone through, but share
no.
some key things that happened when you were younger, because a lot of
Mm,
people on the platform are millennials and Gen Zs. And
mm,
then, offer them real advice of hope. Some become depressed, some turn to drugs.
mm.
So just help us with that. What were some of your obstacles when you were younger? How did you
Okay.
overcome it? What's your value, your core values? And how do you do mind surgery on yourself?
Ah, that is a wonderful group of questions. I will try to approach them one at a time. When I was younger, I was very fortunate. Like I said, My father worked for IBM, which is a global corporation, um, and he was an upper manager working on what is now the personal computer, the PC. He actually was one of the team that developed the memory for the PC. Brilliant engineer. And so you have this incredible Nigerian engineer in the United States, and with 5 children and his wife, and we're living in Vermont. So, for those on here, Vermont is a northern state in the United States. It's close to Canada, it shares a border with Canada, and it's very homogeneous, meaning that almost everybody there is white. So what IBM likes to do is when they place you in a location, they'll buy your house for you. They'll even finance your car for you if you're in a level of management. So they purchased this beautiful house for us in this neighborhood where we were the only black family, and we thought, okay, this is fantastic. We're on top of the world, and we didn't realize the ridicule that would follow, and the jealousy that would follow that. And what it did was it turned me into a person that faced adversity on a daily basis. So on an average day, this is middle school now. On an average day, we would arrive to school on the bus, and one of 5 or 6 young boys would decide who was going to fight me that day. And then we would head to the boys' bathroom and we would fight. And this happened every single day. The days that it didn't happen was because maybe it was raining or the bus was late. But I had to fight somebody every single day because of the way I looked and because of where we lived and I guess how we lived. And I can tell you, as I'm standing here, I never lost. I won every single fight. And the reason I did was because my father said, I told him what was going on. And he said to me, any day that you lose and you come back and tell me that you've lost, then you'll deal with me. And, I typical Nigerian father, you don't come second, don't waste your time with third. If you're not first, then why were you even in the race? So it created a resilience within me that I didn't expect. I wasn't looking for. I was just trying to go to school, but I had the mindset that this is what we're doing every day, and I'm not going to lose. And even though I never lost, those clowns never gave up. It was like they were like robots. They just kept coming. Yeah, oh, your turn. You're going to get him today, or you get him today. And at the end, I left Vermont and we moved to Arizona. By the time we got to Arizona, there was nothing that anybody could actually say or do to me that would even faze me. After what I just dealt with, I had to deal with in Vermont, fighting every day simply because of the way I looked. There was very, very little that you could do to shake me. So my time in Arizona was spent mostly academic. So I just rose to the top of my class. I was very fortunate. I was able to, I had the space to study. I had very supportive parents. Both my parents were absolutely fantastic. My father traveled a lot, but he was usually there. And when he was there, he was there. He was present. We would study at the table in the evenings. And again, consistently instilling in me this mindset that it doesn't matter what you're doing, you have to do your best, and you should be the best. If you're entering into any kind of contest or space, you should be the best, and that puts a lot of pressure on a young person. I get that now in retrospect, but it definitely molds you psychologically and mentally and prepares you for basically any battle that you're going to face in the future. Fast forward, I ended up kind of losing my way when I got to college. I went to University of Arizona, and because my father had means, I had an allowance, I had a car, I had a nice space in the dorm at the university, and I abused those opportunities. I basically just, I did a lot of drinking, a lot of partying. I found myself in Mexico way more than I probably should have, and I lost my way. And for a semester, I was almost gone the entire semester. And I failed every class I was enrolled in that semester. And this is with my father paying fees and paying for lodging and sending allowance every week, every 2 weeks. So he was traveling. When he returned from his travels, the dean had informed him of my academic, I guess, fallout or disgrace. And my father came to me and he said, "Listen, I'm going to do something for you that's going to be more painful for me than you'll imagine. I'm going to cut you off. You won't get another dime from me. You'll get no more money. You'll get no more allowance. You're entirely on your own." And he did. He was as a man of his word. He cut it off. There was no funds available. And for the next 2.5 years, I basically dropped out of college. So I went from being an honor student entering into the University of Arizona to basically almost pretty much failing out. And for 2 years, I worked. And I worked around the clock because that part of me was still there. That work ethic that had been developed by my father years ago was still in me. So I worked 2 jobs. I worked at a car dealership during the day, and at night, I cleaned banks. When everybody goes home, myself, and my crew, there were like 3 of us, we would go in, we would clean the banks, we would shine the floors. I would go home, get some sleep, wake up, and then go back to the car dealership and work there during the day. And I did that long enough to save enough money to buy a house. I was 22 years old, and I purchased my first home. And it was a 4-bedroom, little tiny house in Florida, and but it was mine. And I was paying the mortgage on it. And then one day, my mother came to me, and she was living across town, and she asked me, "Is this your plan for the future? Is this what you plan on doing for the rest of your life?" And which is I didn't expect that question from her. I thought she was just coming over to visit me, to see how I was doing. She was very serious. She had tears in her eyes. She said, "You had so much potential. You came out of high school so well. Was it your plan to work at a car dealership and then clean banks at night? Is that what we prepared you for?" And it really hit me. And I said to myself, no, that's not what I plan on doing. Within 2 months from that conversation, I enrolled at Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida, historically black college. And before I knew it, within 5 months, I was in. Looking at the grades that I had been out long enough that my grades had kind of dropped off, and my transcript, it was great. So my grades, I started at base level. So Florida A&M gave me an entrance exam, and then I ended up with a scholarship. So I went to Florida A&M, and I had saved money. I was a saver. So I had enough money to actually pay for my first full year of university with the scholarships, and I was good to go. And I can tell you, I learned my lesson. The entire time, I graduated summa cum laude. So basically, the entire time I was at Florida A&M, I received 2 Bs. Everything else was an A. So I graduated near the top of my class. And that gave me enough strength and enough momentum to move into law school. And when I started law school, I received a scholarship because I graduated from undergraduate at Florida A&M. My first week of law school, the most incredible thing happened to me. It was a very nerve-wracking week. and there was a mixer of Black students. So basically, it's just Black students coming together as part of the Black Student Union for the law school. And while I was sitting in there nervous, I had my first week of law school. It's very nerve wracking, a lot of work. They tell you that look to your left, look to your right. One of those people will not be there at the time of graduation because they weed people out. It's very difficult. So I sat down, finally got myself a little plate of food, a little drink. I got a beer in my hand, and I heard a voice say, "Thanks, that was my seat." I looked up, this incredible woman, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful. And like an idiot, I stood there looking at her before it took a minute to respond and apologize. I got up, I saw her later, and we started dating. And she was actually a year ahead of me. And it was, it was one of those things again where you decide, what are you going to do? And I decided that this woman needs to be part of my life long term for the rest of my life. So I went to the dean and I said, there's a beautiful woman, Angelou, you know her? He said, yes, I know her. She's a lovely young lady. I said, she's a year ahead of me. If I allow her to graduate and go back to Atlanta, I will receive a phone call telling me that she's found somebody new and that she's ending our relationship. I need your permission to double my classes so I graduate with her. He said to me, okay, number one, it's hard enough to finish law school. Number two, doubling your classes is extremely, it's a big load. You'll be basically taking classes year round in order for you to graduate. I said, if my grades ever drop past a certain percentage, you can take me out and I'll go back to the regular schedule. But if you give me a chance, I think I can sort it out. Fast forward 2.5 years later, I graduated with her, and we got married the day after we graduated from law school, and we've been married now for over 30 years. And that is my that's my rock, my solace. That's my compass, the person that allows me to get back on center when I've lost my way. And she has always been there for me. And that's one of the main things that I've noticed that I can tell you from the time I was in Vermont until this day, is the need to have people around you that support your ambition, support your goals, and support your mental health. And whether it's work-related, relationship, whether you're dealing with health issues and tragedies, and I've seen my fair share, you need those people around you that hold you up, that tell you that it's going to be okay. It's going to be difficult, but you'll survive, but you're going to have to fight. And that's my wife. I have a couple of friends, my brother, but the primary person that keeps me in that space has always been my partner. And so it allowed us to make a lot of changes, from graduating from law school, starting our own company, then me moving into running a law firm for 15 years, and then subsequently moving towards running an NGO for 20 years. Along the way, I have had countless setbacks. I have had countless failures. There's so many things that I've attempted that in hindsight, I would probably say that was a bad idea. But I had the courage to go into it because I had that support network, because I had her, because I had my parents, my siblings. Those were the people that pushed me forward. And of course, some of my colleagues that I've known for over 30 years that are still, in my circle of influence and confidence when I have issues. So that is part of the history that I'm coming to you from. And it's interesting because we are baby boomers. These vessels that we walk around in are fragile. Um, Thank you, doctor, for the compliment that I look okay. I had a 17-mile bike ride this morning. I try to exercise 3 times a week. It usually about 17 miles 3 times a week. On a good week, I might get 4 mornings in. And meditation, wellness, things that I had to do to change my mind and to basically restructure the way that I look at life. And that is what keeps me going, because otherwise I would be considered dead by all practical purposes. All practical purposes, I should not be technically alive. What you see in front of you is a man that has a quarter of a right lung, because I had lung cancer, and they had to remove 3/4 of my right lung, not from smoking, just it just happened. And then after I survived that, finished the surgery, got better. I got diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is cellular cancer, which is a cancer that where your own body attacks you, and there's no cure for it. You just pray that it stays in remission. So the best way to do it is manage your stress and keep up your exercise and really manage your diet and exercise, and a lot of exercise. I keep emphasizing that. So this is not coming to you without obstacles or trial and error. What you see is a person that is very fortunate. I'm very, very, very fortunate. I'm blessed. I have 2 incredible sons. One is coming to work with me in September. I run 2 companies. Both of them are reasonably successful. I'm still alive. I'm healthy. Every day I'm able to get up and do what I love to do. But it did take a period of time where I had to fall on my face, and I had to go through a very strong version of mind surgery to really pull myself back together. And that period of time, the thing that what my father did when he cut me off, and he literally forced me to fail. He helped me fail, which is an odd way of putting it. But I needed to fail so I could understand how it was to succeed. If you can't fail, if you don't fail, you'll never really understand the contrast of success. And in order to do so, when you do fail, you are going to have to conduct some form of mind surgery in order to be able to pull yourself back together again, whether it's with your community, whether it's with your core team, your family, and then move forward. And that's where I am now. I'm 58, so I am 2 steps from 60, and I actually retire from the North America job in 2 months. Very excited about that. And I fully will be engulfed in the work here in Nigeria for renewable energy, and basically with solar and wind. So I'm very excited about the next chapter, but I would not be here if it wasn't for those issues that I had to face when I was much younger. And I'm very lucky. It happened when I was younger. When you fail in your 20s, you have a better chance of rebounding. And if you learn from those lessons, you have a really good chance of dealing with any kind of obstacles in the future. When you fail in your 50s and 60s, it's a little bit harder. People are dependent on you. Your ability to bounce back is not quite as easy. So I was very fortunate that I learned how to fail often and fail early. And now I've learned from those mistakes. So, Doctor, I hope that sheds some light on on your suggestion.
Wow, amazing, amazing. It's mind surgery for us this morning, and let's get feedback from the O01 mind surgery revolution. Kindly unmute yourself, Dr. Michelle. What's your take on this?
I am amazed. The resilience. Um, we baby boomers, a lot of times young people look at us and they don't know our backstories. And for you to share your real private life, to be able to use yourself as an example about discipline, about doing mind surgery on yourself and the many stages that you were in, particularly the fact that, and I know this, that you don't come across as bitter. A lot of young people on the platform may not have traveled to Canada, the US, or other European countries that just because of the color of our skin,
Mm.
that just the color of our skin,
Yeah.
there's a lot of resistance. Ironically enough, my first master's is from the School for International Training in Brattleboro, Vermont, and it's so I feel you. I know what you went through. I was the only Black American in that master's program,
Yeah.
and I left from Clark. In those days, it was called Clark College. Now it's Clark Land University into
See,
Vermont because they gave me a full scholarship, and I was shocked about the mistreatment, just because I was Black. It took
yeah.
them a minute to realize that I was a human being. And of course, I was older then. You were in secondary school, but I get what you must have gone through. And for people like you and I not to be bitter that people spit at us, that people want to fight us, that people yell at us, that we might have an A in class, and because we're Black, the professor might just grade us on on a B curve, something
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But yet we're global citizens, and yet we're healthy individuals. So um, it speaks to a lot of the young people here who might be going through some type of tribalism, which we hope we can dismantle, you know,
Yeah.
um, or Christian versus Muslim. We hope, we baby boomers hope that you can dismantle that as well.
Mm.
Um, every day, the founder, which is Dr. Botmas, he's working on those humanitarian subjects, or what we shouldn't even be a subject, people to people revolution. So thank you for even talking to us about the racism, let alone that hardcore lesson that your dad had to teach you. Those 2 years where you had to use everything with beside your parents because they cut you off. So I was
Right.
talking to them about God and grit. So, being determined, being focused, staying, doing mind surgery on yourself. James, thank you so much. I know that there are others on the platform that want to make comments, but thank you for just revealing the private parts of your life, to help particularly the young people. Thank you so much. So we are now open for questioning, and we expect everyone to make a comment. And back to Dr. Batmas.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much for that wonderful contribution. Thanks for all you do to contribute positive to humanity. Let's hear feedback from the people on the call. If you're online, you can actually type your submission and at the comment section on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. You can type your submission, or if you have any question, you can get it to him and he can answer you. Once you type it, we're gonna see it here and we're gonna read it out loud, and it will be attended to. So let's get feedback. Um, O01 review cluster. What's your take on this?
All right. Good morning, sir, and day to everyone. Ambassador Agutu, sir, the global president. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma. The 001 Master Brain, Dr. Michael. Good morning, ma. And sir, our facilitator, good morning, sir. Good to have you. We are so blessed to hear from you, sir. It's an opportunity and an excellent and honorable greetings to all clusters and non-clusters on the call. Sir, we are so blessed. Whenever we have the baby boomers coming to us, the millennials and the Gen Zs, most of these culture and norms and morals are kind of facing out now. We want it fast, fast pace. And we are so blessed to learn from you, sir, that this useful exorbitance actually exists. As a youth, you just want to do your own thing. Thank you, sir. And we appreciate what you did. Even as your dad was trying to teach you real life lessons, you took
Yeah.
it as a lesson. You didn't fight to die. You were not bitter. Instead, you didn't go into drugs and the gangs that were actually destroying. But you took that lesson. Okay, dad is upset. Okay, let me go hustle it out. And you took two jobs, and you in your own useful mind, you felt like, okay, I'm consistent. I'm fine now. I have a house. I'm comfortable. But mom came in, mom came in. This was she wanted for us because she knew that you have this potential, you can do better than this. It's that, but we didn't fight her. It's that you took that. It's true, it's like a reminder. Oh, I can do better, and you took it upon yourself. I love the fact that you didn't blame the government, you didn't blame the devil, you didn't blame anyone. You understand? You took responsibility of your own self, and this is what we need. And we really appreciate what you have become. And I really hope that more youth will see this. That the problem is not about the government. From everything you have mentioned, that I never heard about Satan, I never heard about government problem. It was about you working on yourself, and making yourself better. And this is just a lesson. We are our own architects of whatever we want to be. You took your destiny into your hands. Look at what you did. You want something and you went for it. I don't want to lose this gem, this wonderful lady. So what do I need to do? I need to buckle up. You did it yourself. That means I have my destiny in my hands. I have my will. Whatever I want, I can get it. Yes, God has given us the will. It is the will of God, but we have the power. He has given us everything to do whatever with our mind determination. We can do it. I'm so grateful that you can come here. The whole world listening to you, and you're here. Like our OOMI story said, for you to share your story. It's a great heart that you have. Sharing this with us. We really appreciate it. We are not taking it for granted. Thank you so much for what you have become and sharing with this to us. We can't get this in any institution. We are learning this real life. This is not just a movie. This is not a fiction. This is real. That when I have the will to do what is right, I can be right and I can be better. This is not my end. The future is just waiting for me to come bring out my potential and be the best I can be. Thank you so very much, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you
That
very
was a wonderful contribution from Cluster and Oluwaseyi Odushagun. Let's hear from Cluster and Williams. What's your take on this?
Excellent morning to you all, wherever you're listening to me from. Good morning, the 001, in the person of Dr. Michelle Uko, the President, Ambassador Bad, and our facilitator, should I say, Barrister James. I'm very happy to hear from you this morning. Yeah, I just want to highlight 3 points from what I've gotten so far from all what you've said. One, you took your education very serious, and that leads to you having a law firm which you manage for some couple of years, if I'm not mistaken, 15 to 20 years. Secondly, you show the effort of being not just a husband, but a supporting father to your family in terms of what you bring to your family. You put it first and you make sure that all things work right for you. Then also, you also went to establish an NGO, which to a very large extent contribute positively to humanity in many ways for 20 years. Then lastly, you made us understand that failure is not the end, but rather is an avenue or a way of one step back in recalibrating our mindset to upshoot us to where we are supposed to be. In all of this, I want to say it's a blessing having you amongst us. And like Tashayi said, shout out to all the baby boomers who have been grooming us every Monday to let us know that we are better than what we think we are. Thank you very much, and do have a perfect week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, amazing,
You're
amazing.
welcome.
Thank you very much, Cluster Williams, for that. Let's get a feedback from the 002 Certificate Revolution of the Global Cluster and Coyote Oyedoton. What's your take on today's mind surgery revolution?
Excellent morning, our global president, sir. I greet you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for another great My Surgery Monday. I greet our First Lady and I greet our Mommy 001 Mind Surgery Revolution and our great speaker today, Barrister James. Thank you so much for this great information you have shared with us. This is meant this is the whole lecture for everyone that is on the call today and is going to be listening to it later because this resonates with plenty of us, we that we are in the JAPA, that we know that there's a lot of struggle. You shared with us how you were resilient even when things went the other way around. You didn't stick to that way. You still empower yourself by working on yourself, by personally growing yourself, and also the stability in you. You sabi the person that is going to make you excel in your future, and then you work towards that. And the resilience in you to become who you are today and not the other way around. And you are, like you said, that you are still alive, you are a father, you have run a law firm, you have this NGO. This is what we are trying to educate our younger ones to become more resilient in trying to be purposeful in their life and don't just have every minute to blame it on somebody else or other government. Thank you very much for this wonderful message you have shared with us today, sir. God bless you, sir. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Let's get a review from Miriam B. Mommy Jia. You're trying to ask a question at the same time. Let's hear from you.
Good
Hello.
good morning, sirs. Good morning, ma'ams.
Good
Um,
morning.
I am very happy to be here this morning. Um, for me, the things that stood out on here was the fact that with all the how do I phrase this? Um, the core values I think from the that came out of this lesson was gratitude practice, writing down things that you're grateful for each day, praying for the people um, who to praying away the people who are distracting and attacking your peace, setting the goals, and also you said something. You said failure was vital. You know, failing early teaches you how to succeed, teaches you how to progress, and having resilience and faith with community also helps for your self transformation and that your mindset matters. Um, Mindset more than circumstance was what helps you to transform your life. I just had a couple of questions. I'm not sure. Just to say, for better context for those of us, for example, I have dyslexia. I'm a
Mhm.
parent. I'm a single parent, and I'm bringing up a son. Um, Life does what it does. There's ups and downs in life for everyone, and I just had like just three questions really. It was, what sort of tools kept you grounded in times that maybe you had self doubt or you had burnout? Um, how do we measure for ourselves our wins when they don't show up on paper? So, for example, I don't
Mhm.
have a degree, so how do I measure my wins in context with how life is going? And then, just also as someone with dyslexia, what learning methods or hacks work best for you? Or what would you advise for people if they happen to be neurodivergent on the spectrum, whatever it is? Like, what hacks would you suggest that you use that might have worked for you, that might work for somebody else?
Ah, excellent questions. Um, Let me start with the last one first. Um, I congratulate you for to continue to persevere despite what others would consider to be limitations. Uh, I found out in secondary school when I was in Vermont that I was mildly dyslexic. And it was interesting because the, um, the teachers um, told my mother that I was, um, uh, I guess, back then they would use the term mentally retarded, but now we say mentally challenged, or that I had mental or learning disabilities. And my mother, being a very typical Nigerian mom, very like, no, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about, came to the school, and I guess this isn't even just for Nigerian mothers. This is African American mothers. They're basically a class of people that you really have to prepare yourself if you're going to take them on, because they'll tear you apart. And she came to the school and really had it out with the teachers and said, let's find out what the problem is. And then I was tested, and they said he has mild dyslexia. There are certain numbers that I see backwards. And the way that I overcame that is I have to read things more than once. And what you end up doing is you build a muscle, and that muscle trains you train that muscle to always read twice. Just read it twice, and that means you start reading faster. So whether it's a report that I'm drafting or reviewing, even as simple as an email or a message on WhatsApp, I will read it twice. So before I hit send, I would have read it once and then read it again, and then I'll send it, make any corrections that need to be done. And I have autocorrect off on my WhatsApp, so which forces me to keep reviewing it. Autocorrect makes you lazy, and you end up not developing what I consider to be a necessary muscle to help you achieve. So I learned to overcome that obstacle by finding a way to move quicker and work a little bit harder to get around the issue. And that's what I did. I still do that to this day. I will do that until God calls for me. There's no way around it. My brain just sees letters differently, and there's nothing I can do about it. But that doesn't mean I give up. That means that I find a way to succeed in spite of. And that's what my mother actually taught me to do. She put me into the class, and the instructor taught me how to read and reread over and over and over again, to the point where I became almost like a speed reader, but then I would correct myself. One of your first questions was, how do I keep from giving up, or just kind of throwing my hands up when things seem like there's no way forward? I without going into a strong religious overture, certainly I have faith in God, and grateful, and every morning thank God for the ability to get up and to do what I love, and to ride my bicycle, and to have my family in my life. But I'm also a Buddhist, and we've been Buddhists for coming up on 10 years now. And Buddhism is a practice. It's not a religion. So we have Jews that are Buddhists, Muslims that are Buddhists. We have Christians that are Buddhists. It's a way of living your life that doesn't rely on exterior entities or issues to actually affect you. So there's something called the goal of Buddhism, the sect that we belong to, is happiness. And it's interesting, and it sounds so simple. It's easy to accept. It's difficult to follow. That's one of the sayings that, oh yeah, happiness. Yeah, you'll be surprised. Happy people don't start wars. Happy people do not insult other people.
Yes, sir.
Happy people tend to try harder when they're faced with obstacles, and it's that happiness that's kept me going through surgeries, through I cannot count how many procedures that I've had to endure. I've always been happy. I just stay happy because I'm going to win. And so long as I believe in my core that I will be successful, that I'll win, I remain happy. And that is what actually drives me on a daily basis is the need and the desire to remain happy no matter what's happening. I could be told, oh, you've lost these 4 contracts, or whatever you submitted was not presentable to, to your client, you have to start again. Those are all exterior factors, and you can't allow those factors to impede on your happiness. So that is the mindset that I have, my wife has, both my sons. We collectively do what we can to make sure that we are always happy and we're reminded that you have to be happy. This life is a gift. It is not it's not a curse. It's not an obligation. It's a gift. Every day is a gift. And if you're given that gift, the proper way to respond is to acknowledge it and to be happy. That is what I believe. And and everybody's belief what is however you're able to move yourself forward, you have to find that thing that helps you. For me, that thing is my Buddhist practice and my ability to stay present and to stay happy. Am I perfect at it? No. Lots of times I get grumpy, I get upset, but it doesn't last long, So it's not about being perfect about it. It's about realizing when you're in that space and then correcting yourself to get back to being in a space that keeps you happy and motivated and positive. So I'm not sure if I hope I covered your questions. If I didn't, please just let me know if I missed any.
Sir, thank you very much. I was going to ask you, my final question was going to be, how do you pass on, or how do we pass on strength and grace to the next generation without sugarcoating the struggle that, you had to fight for things, but you've actually just answered that question. Thank you very much for your time. I do appreciate everything you've spoken about this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
amazing, amazing. Let's quickly go to YouTube, people. We have Alayo Take Care TV. He said, "Happy New Week," and he said, "Global clusters, prosperity for all." He called said, "Guys, kindly join us on this." And Ambassador Adekunle Badmus said, "Great program," and he said, "My surgery revolution of the global cluster to the world." Just share with friends and family. Titi Layo Aloba said, "Good morning." Then Fatigue Grace Ibrahim said, "Thank God for your life." That is our my surgeon of the day. He said, "You are a survivor. We learn every day. Thank
Yeah.
you for your contribution, sir. It takes a regenerated mind to take the action you took. Thank you for your contribution." And he said, "This guy is another eye opener for me. Thank you." So let's get a review submission where our time is fast spent, but as our manner is, we want to make sure that those on the spotlight here gets to add their voice to what has happened today. Okay, Farex, what's your take, the diction guru, on today's mind surgery? In 1 minute, please.
Okay, thank you, our global president, Ambassador Kunle Badmos. Thank you very much, sir. And in absentia, I also say thank you. I'm sending my regards to Global First Lady, Chief Mutrana Badmos, and Mama Dr. Uko. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you for all you do. And I want to quickly thank our dear Masojion, Sir James C. Ezelio. You had supportive parents, and your father made you don't dare come back home defeated and all that. You were consistent with what you were doing then, and you achieved a great deal in your 20s. That really caught my attention. And it's great to note that we need people around us that will hold us up, but this does not mean that we will not have to fight at all. I held on to that, sir. Thank you. And I have a question, sir. You've talked about how fighting was almost a daily thing for you back then, how it became part of your routine, and how you were always winning. But looking back now, I'd love to know, have you ever run into any of those guys since your life took a new turn? Maybe when you became more established or started doing well? If yes, how did that moment feel? Were they surprised, awkward, regretful, or maybe even proud of who you've become? And finally, and while you were still in that phase of constant fights, did you ever feel any guilt or remorse? Or was it something that gave you a kind of satisfaction or identity at the time? Were you ever the one starting the fights, like every time, or were they just situations you found yourself in because of your environment or background? Thank you very much, sir. That'll be all for now.
Thank you. Good, very good question. The first question, no, I've never run into any of those guys again.
Thank you.
The mind is an incredible tool. It has the ability to basically, kind of block out what you don't need.
Pour this
I
back
can't
into
even
the teapot.
remember their names. One guy's name, I remember one guy's name. But I tried to look for him much later in life, and I couldn't find him anywhere, so I gave up. But other than that, I've never run into any of them. Even if they walked up to me on the street right now, I wouldn't recognize them. It was a very long time ago. And the irony is, on the daily basis, it would start. I would get up every day, and those days were very interesting. I had a paper route, so I would start every day with delivering papers. Before the sun came up, I would go pick up the papers, get on my bicycle, and then I would deliver papers before school. Get back to the house, clean up, get ready for school, walk with my sister to the bus stop, and then we would take the bus to school. All the while on the bus, getting called this name, that name, just being, ridiculed and attacked on the bus. This is daily. So then we would get to school. So what would happen was, I literally I'm not sure how my mind did it. When I was doing the paper route, eating breakfast, getting ready for school, I was one person. I was Chinedu. I was with my brothers and sisters. I was talking to my father before he left to work. It was all jokes. And then as soon as we got on the bus, I became somebody else. I literally became a warrior. I just basically prepared myself for that battle that was coming, and I would then go into that mode until the fight was over. And as soon as the fight ended and it was time to go to class, I switched off and turned back into Chinedu Ezilo and was a student and attentive at class, talk with friends at lunch, and then get back on the bus, switch back again, same ridicule, and then go home and turn back into a son and a brother to my brothers and sisters. And this was a daily thing. And so it's kind of bizarre. I did not really understand how this took place until many years later when I was going through the treatment for the stem cell transplant that I had to undergo for my current cancer. After all that, it was important for me to have a therapist that works with me, and so in talking to my therapist, we were able to unpack how I was able to switch in order to preserve my mental state and to keep my mind from just kind of blowing up. And I developed the ability to do that. Now I don't have to do that. And when you don't have to do that, you are left with a lot of strength. But when you're doing that, it consumes so much, mental energy that yes, you get stronger and you develop all kinds of new muscles. But what a waste of time that is. What a horrible waste of time that is. And I didn't realize that until I got older. And so now I devote that mental strength towards solving problems. I devote that mental strength towards creating and trying to develop initiatives that help young people and help people that I think, you know, just need a hand in order to get to the next step. So it was a very interesting time. I learned a lot of lessons from that time. But no, I've never seen any of those people again, which is good for them because I'd probably still fight them again. And yes, it helped me really develop a way of managing myself moving forward.
Amazing.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for that. Let's have
Thank you very
question
much,
and answer session.
James.
Joshua, please,
Wow.
in 1 minute, please give your submission. I've said Joshua. Is Avocet Joshua there? Okay. If Avocet Joshua is not there, do we
Yes,
have anyone?
There it is.
hear me,
Um,
please.
do we have anyone left,
Yes.
Dr. Bob?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay,
Go ahead.
thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Excellent morning to you, our global cluster. And my surgery 001, good morning to you, Ma, and our facilitator, Barrister Barrister James. Thank you very much, sir. This is really insightful. And it's your experience that you shared with us today. We make us to know that life is not a bed of roses. So you just have to take it up, take up the challenges, whatever, face it, and before you know what's happening, you come out triumph. And one of the things I got from what you discussed with us, what you shared with us this morning, is having people who are supportive around you.
Yeah.
People that you know that you guys you're on the same vision, who can support you, and anytime you're feeling down, they can give you that support whichever way, right? It is very, very important, and it's a good lesson that we learned today. You've learned resilience, believe in yourself, never give up, and this young generation, that is one of the things that they are lacking. And having come to this platform to listen to things like this, it always reminds us that people are passing through a lot of things and they've overcome. So not to think that whatever you're passing through that does not happen to anyone before. So it's the mind surgery keeps on encouraging us that if people like this have passed through such hurdles and they came out triumph and they are excelling in their career, in what their business is, what they are doing. So nothing stops us as well from getting to that height that we've always wanted to be. So thank you very much. This is my submission. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Do
We
we have
are
anyone?
Dr. Botman.
Go ahead, man.
First of all, again, James, I want to thank you. We're going to have to probably re-invite you for another segment, as particularly the young people keep unpacking. Um, Again, I just am at awe that us baby boomers who we lived through that era of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Now, here we are.
Yeah.
Um, we are real resources. Again, I want to thank you for being a clusterian, lending your intellectual properties to us, your life story. Again, I know that you're going to have to come back and talk to us again, but I'm looking at the time, which is 10:17, and it's an hour program. So what's going to happen is we're going to need you to please make sure that the young people can get back in contact with you. I'm sure you don't mind them doing that.
No.
They're going through a lot. And our own generation, we did not have the internet. We did not have, the social media that at times used incorrectly has had a negative impact on a lot of the young people who are feeling, even though they're on this social media platform, but they don't have live human beings to relate to, that they feel comfortable with, that they can talk to and feel okay, about revealing who they are and what they're going through. So thank you once again.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Dr. Botmas to wrap this up. And
And
James, definitely, before I travel, again, I'm going to make sure that I see you and your wife. You guys are a wonderful couple. And again, young people, you just learned something about what it means when you finally realize that you have a soulmate, which James will talk to you again because believe it or not, you got a lot of young people who don't even know how to connect on a one-to-one. That's a whole different subject altogether. So thank you. We hope that you have a wonderful week. And I'm
thank
going to ask Dr. Botnis if there's any last things that you would like to say to those on the platform. We would love for you to do that submission. If you could do that in 2 minutes, that would be great.
All right. Barrister James, over to you. Your final submission to everyone listening to you right now in 2 minutes, sir.
in 2 minutes. Maybe less. I, I think that we are in a very interesting time here in Nigeria, or Africa in general. We're hearing about travel bans to places like U.S., even to places like to Europe, restrictions. Um, it forces us to no longer look outward for success, but to look inward. And in order for us to successfully look inward, we have to have the right mindset. We have to have the positive belief that we can change whatever we're not happy with in our own home. This is our home. This is our soil. This is our camp. We've planted our flag here, and we have to be able to stand up and do what's necessary to move this forward. And I'm almost 60. Um, I can I can help from a mentor perspective. I can help from an access perspective to give opportunities to young people. But this race will be run by those in their 20s, in their 30s, because they are the ones that are going to actually move this country forward. They are the ones that are going to move the continent forward with creativity, with ingenuity. There is no need to outsource our talent. We need to find ways to provide space for that talent to flourish right here at home. So I'm asking all the young people to prepare to fail, prepare to ask more than 2 or 3 times and be told no, but do not give up under any circumstances. You stand on the greatest soil on the African continent. And it's important that you take full advantage of all the opportunities that are given to you. And I thank you for inviting me this morning and allowing me to share my journey so far with everyone. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Ambassador.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate you. We want to thank you more. I believe we have all learned from the sojourn of the day. And if you're watching this later, we want you to drop your comment. So, in rounding up, I want to ask, who are we? We are a consortium of professionals or upcoming professionals, technocrats or aspiring technocrats, entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, where we share accurate knowledge of our industry. Why? Because it gives us the right power, accurate information, because that is the bridge between where we are and where we ought to be. An accurate connection, because to whom we are connected to determine what we collect. We're not just a social media platform with a marketplace with instant monetization, just like any other social media platform. We are the first nation building social media platform, a platform to mine and produce quality and accurate leaders, quality and accurate professionals, quality and accurate technocrats, and quality and accurate entrepreneurs. It will interest you to know that every week we do 10 trainings. Today,
Mm.
we have done one now. We're going to do another one in the evening by 5 to like 6. Survival strategies in the new normal. We're going to do another one. Then tomorrow, we're going to have one. On Wednesday, we're going to have another one. On Thursday, we're going to have two. On Friday, we have one. On Saturday, we have two. And on Sunday, we have one. So we have
Wow.
everything for every day. So, and this is to make sure that we push every individual. We believe that everyone is a leader and everyone needs to be equipped. And the only way you can be equipped is to submit yourself to quality and accurate learning. This is a live human being sharing his story. I believe I've been added on to this morning, and I believe you have been added on to. Let me know your view about this at the comment section on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. A review will be posted after this meeting, and we'll do a little AI video so that you can have it in 3 minutes or 2 minutes. So we want you to share with your friends and family. So till we see again in the evening at Survival Strategy in the new normal on the same channel between 5 o'clock. We want to know, how do we survive in this new normal? So professionals, technical entrepreneurs will be talking to you, and you'll be learning skills and information on how to survive. So if you want to log in into the app, you can download the Global Cluster app on Play Store, or if you're using an iPhone, you can go to www.theglobalclusters.org. It's spelled CLUSTERS.org. So you can register a one-time lifetime application. Applies $21 or 30K for a clusterian, or 50,000 or $35 one-time lifetime. And we have a combo package that you can do 61,000 and get a UK diploma course, either in data analysis, cybersecurity, digital marketing, certified nursing assistant, mini MBA, business analysis, and so on, or an AI course, or for a vendor that wants Clusterian to promote and earn your product, to promote your product to other social media platform, you can do 81,000 one-time lifetime fee. So having said that, thank you again, my surgeon of the day, and thank you everyone that has added their voice to this. Special thanks to the 001 My Surgery Revolution, the person of Dr. Michelle Uko, for championing this cause worldwide. Thank you very much. Then till we see again, have a fruitful day ahead.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.
Bye bye.
Bye for now, everyone. Thank you, sir.